What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to talk about draft prospect Kenneth Grant. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about draft prospect Kenneth Grant. And Kenneth Grant goes about 6'4", 330 pounds. He played his college football at the University of Michigan. He did help lead them to a national title 2 seasons ago. And he plays a defensive tackle position. And I definitely think that the Falcons should strongly consider drafting Kenneth Grant with that first round draft pick at number 15. The Falcons have struggled over the last decade to stop the run and also put pressure on the quarterback. And the Falcons haven't had that anchor on the defensive line since Rashid Hageman in 2016 when we went to the Super Bowl. So I definitely think that drafting this kid, Grant is one of those guys. Kenneth Grant is one of those guys that's relentless at stopping the run, very strong, big, and one of those guys that just it's hard to push out of his gap. He's one of those guys that is very good at stopping the run, a very strong player, one of those guys that also can rush the passer. He had 7.5 sacks in his collegiate career, so he is one of those guys that can also pressure the quarterback as well and push the pocket, but he'll be able to make all the guys around him better. And the Falcons have struggled to find that guy in the middle that can put pressure on opposing centers, opposing guards on the offensive line, cause the quarterback to move off their spot and allow guys, like Arnold Ebiketie to get those one-on-one opportunities on the edge. Allow Leonard Floyd, who we just brought in free agency, to have one-on-one matchups where he can take advantage of the defense. So I definitely think that having a guy in Kenneth Grant on this Atlanta Falcons team would be huge. And being able to stop the run and limiting teams on first and second down has been a huge issue for our Atlanta Falcons. Last year, we struggled to get off the field on third downs. We struggled with time of possession because teams were picking up first downs at will. A lot of teams were going for it on fourth down, on fourth and short situations, and were able to pick those up as well and convert, which kept our defense on the field for really long times in spurts. One of the games that comes to my mind was the Washington game against the Commanders, where they drove the football up and down the field. Jaden Daniels was able to extend plays with his legs on third and fourth down when they continued to go for it on fourth down. So having a Kenneth Grant on your team, he'll be able to stifle that run game and slow the run game down, meaning limiting those guys to 1 or 2 yards on first and second down in the run game, or possibly creating a negative play, getting a tackle for loss on first down, and put opposing teams in second and long situations and third and long situations, which is something that could extremely help as far as the defense, help the defense be able to pressure the quarterback on third down. Because when you get in those third and long situations, that gives those guys on the edge the opportunity to rush the passer and things of that nature. But the Falcons have been caught way too many times in third and short situations and fourth and short situations. And in those instances, the playbook for the offense is wide open. When you're in third and 3, third and 2, third and 1, those are, really easy to pick up in today's NFL, especially with now where these coaches willing to go for it on fourth down if they don't get it on third down. A lot of the times teams would either just throw a quick bubble screen against us, or they would run the tush push if it was the Philadelphia Eagles, or they would just run the ball 2 times on third down if it's third and short, and then try to pick it up with a quarterback sneak on a fourth down or run the ball on a fourth down. So being able to limit those first and second down yardage, which I think Kenneth Grant would be one of those guys that'll help this Atlanta Falcons team because of his strength, because of his girth. As big as he is, he'll be one of those guys where teams are not going to try to run down the middle of our defense. They'll try to run on the outside. And Kenneth Grant is one of those intimidators on the defensive lines that'll be able to hold his own. And if you look at the better teams in the league, if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs with Chris Jones, if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles with Jordan Davis, And the guys that they have in Jalen Carter. If you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers with Cam Hayward, the good teams are good in the trenches up the middle of their defense, where teams are not able to consistently run the ball up the middle of the defense. The Washington Commanders is another team that comes to mind when they had Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen for the last couple years over the last decade. So I really feel like it's important that the Atlanta Falcons, be able to stop the run moving forward. And I really feel like Kenneth Grant will be one of those guys that can come in and change the mentality. He'll be able to come in and help guys like David Onyemata in the middle. I really feel like Grady Jarrett was undersized. And for years and years and years, we had him playing that defensive tackle position, which is kind of outside of his position. Grady is a 3-tech. But he was forced to play the defensive tackle position in a lot of instances. And because he wasn't the biggest guy, because he was a smaller defensive tackle, teams were able to take advantage of him by using double teams and things of that nature, where a guy in Kenneth Grant, he'll be able to hold up. He'll be able to hold the point, and he'll be able to even hold up against two guys trying to push him, out of the way. And that's going to create opportunities for our linebackers to be able to eat. When you have that big guy up the middle, at that defensive tackle position, he makes everyone around him job easier, and you're able to filter everything into the middle of that defense when you have that big guy up front. So I definitely think Kenneth Grant would be a huge steal for the Atlanta Falcons at 15. I really feel like a lot of people are overlooking him. A lot of people overlook the trenches as far as the defensive tackle position. But to be successful, to be able to stop the run, if you look at the teams that have success in the league, majority of the teams have that big guy up front, that anchor on that defensive line. So with that being said, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.